Hello everyone, Cortex here, and today I'm going to treat you to some world-class cuisine, aka my review of Crash Twinsanity. Crash Twinsanity. What is there I could say about this game that hasn't already been said? Well, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out, and so are you. So strap in, because we're diving into the zaniest Crash game in the series. So, I was fully prepared to make a fair but mostly negative review of this game until I replayed it for this video. My last playthrough, horrendous. This one, probably the best. And that's the weird thing about this game. Sometimes I play it and it makes me want to punt my PS2 into the sun. Other times, I'm giggling like a child with zero responsibilities. In fact, this playthrough made me forget I even had a wife or a child. Now, don't get it twisted. There's still plenty of shit in this game that disappoints me, and I will be talking about it. Just remember, anytime I complain, Uncle Cortex still loves you and this game. Damn it, this is gonna get confusing. My name is Sean, by the way. YouTube channel's Retro Cortex, so call me either, but to avoid confusion, we'll just go with Sean. Lovely to meet you. This game has so much to love and so much to hate, but overall, the good definitely outweighs the bad. If you say you hate this game in the Crash fandom, there's like a 90% chance someone's gonna appear behind you and snap your neck. The fanbase adores this game, and honestly, I get it. The storytelling is improved, the humor is ridiculous, the levels are memorable, but like I said, there's another side to that coin. So consider this your warning. If you can't handle honest criticism about a game you love, feel free to duck out now. Or, alternatively, you can stay and furiously type me a Michelin star quality hate comment. Either works for me. Okay, enough talk, let's dive in. The game kicks off right after Wrath of Cortex. Last we saw, Uka Uka was chasing Cortex around an iceberg in Antarctica, ready to grill that ass. We open with Crash, chilling on the beach, living his best life, when suddenly...
Sleep, my insipid angel.
Coco gets abducted by Cortex, who was hiding behind a tree watching her. You know, just my standard Tuesday morning. Next thing we see is this.
Something weird going on in the bay! Come see!
Yeah, that. Now we can run around Insanity Beach, break shit, spin stuff, collect gems, and quick side note, I keep hearing people complain that collecting gems in this game is pointless because they only unlock artwork. And my response is... Congratulations, you just described every Crash game ever. Gems in previous games unlock paths or an ending you could easily watch on YouTube. The gems were always just there to give you an objective. Puzzle, path, challenge, shiny rock. That's it. That's the point. Always has been. People act like Twinsanity invented useless collectibles when Crash literally built his career on them. Rant over, moving on. Aku Aku pops up and gives us a little speech.
It is I, Aku Aku. My duty is to protect you. You may summon me by breaking open these crates. Call me thrice, and I shall grant you special powers.
Oh, shit, I died. Oh, look, he popped up again. Oh, you can't skip cutscenes in this game. Fantastic, that definitely won't get annoying. Also, Aku Aku works like 40% of the time in Twinsanity, which is honestly depressing considering he's been the GOAT safety mask since 1996. If he's gonna be useless half the time, just let me die in peace. Not game breaking, just mildly insulting. Then, we follow Cortex through the jungle and learn some mechanics, and then...
Surprised to see me, Crash?
Cortex, you bastard, you lied to me. What about Coco with a beard? I loved her. Cortex once again tries to defeat Crash, first in a 1v1 where he gets smoked, and again with Engine piloting the Mecha Bandicoot, where he too gets smoked. But before all that, he organised us a little birthday party with all our old friends. Oh, how sweet. What the fuck?
Look how they massacred my boy.
After all that, Cortex and Crash tumble into one of the twin gameplay styles, the Roller Brawl. And this is fun. I mean, it's no Atmosphere, but it's just fine. We encounter a drill full of aliens, and we've got to hit all the buttons around this drill once it opens up. We can break a few crates, and watch out for these guys. Then we get to take control of both Crash and Cortex right after this little cutscene.
Yes, the crystal is mine.
Keep back, you weak-minded fool! Avert your gaze or you'll go crystal crazy!
Then we escape and are introduced to our main villains of the game, because Cortex is a semi-good guy this time around, and I've gotta say, I'm really not a fan of these two.
Ooh, that feels good. I was bursting in there. Cower, you fools, before the awesome might of the evil twin.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
Aren't you two adorable? Let me see. I might have some chalky treats here for you.
Chalky treats? Oh! We've some good news and some bad. The bad news? We're going to destroy your precious islands. The good? You won't be around to see it.
How tiresome.
Oh, you want to play mind games? Okay, tough guy. Let's play mind games.
Oh, yes! Oh!
Yes, these guys could have been miles better, but unfortunately they just aren't. But moving forward, we have Cortex beg us to help him take them down right as he gets swarmed with bees. We've got a clear path for him, and after that he runs straight into good old Papu, who is less than pleased with him, and I've gotta wonder if it's because he ran into him, or because he enslaved the Insanity Islands for a couple of years. Well, we go on a mission chasing down this worm while dodging attacks from the tribesmen all the way up to our buddy Cortex. He gets freed and we get a quick little chase, and once that's over...
Oh, Crash. The farmer's market is tomorrow, and my wampa trees won't grow, for my orchard is riddled with greedy worms. If you rid my land of these pests, I'll give you this power crystal.
I'm an evil scientist. What do you expect? This isn't a game.
Man, you've gotta love the humor in this game. From here, we play a whack-a-mole right before Pinky and the Brain show up again.
I tell you, you boys have so much to destroy. Anyhow, we've been taking in the sights of Sanity Island here. Nice totem gods. Yeah, back in the 10th dimension, we don't have anything near as nice as the totem gods. The vivid colors, the intricate carving, you know, it's almost as if they're totem gods. Yeah. Almost. Exactly as if they're
Totem gods.
This boss fight is simple enough, not exactly the most difficult fight. We just run in a circle until his attack cycle finishes, then we throw Cortex down his throat and kill his little minions until he's beat. But don't worry, there are some pretty good boss fights a little down the road, and some less than impressive boss fights also.
10th dimension. Yes, yes! In the dark ocean of my intellect swims a magnificent whale of a plan. To the laboratory! We're not beaten yet.
From here, we make our way down to the beach and hitch a ride on a boat to Cortex's Iceberg Lab. This area, again similar to Insanity Beach, has a few optional gem challenges, but they are a little trickier this time around. We meet up with Cortex and he fails to get his door open, so we take another route. On the way, we go through some ice caves with some decent platforming, and we fight a few throwaway enemies like the bats and penguins, until we reach the top and get this banger of a cutscene.
The check bounced. Are you sure? Well, the past few years have kind of been slow. Wrath of Cortex didn't do as well as we'd hoped, and... Fish? Fish?
From here, we go back to platforming with both Crash and Cortex until we find Uka Uka frozen in a pane of ice, and we play through what can only be described as the most pathetic boss fight in the game.
My, can it be? Crash and Cortex? I don't know whether to kiss you or kill you!
I mean, come on guys, it's the great and mighty Uka Uka we're talking about here, and we beat him with a few buttons and some flames. If this game is remastered, and we can only hope that it is, this needs to be rethought. Uka Uka should pose a hell of a lot more of a threat than this. After this, we make our way back into Cortex Lab, where it appears the evil twins beat Aku Aku and Uka Uka, and they use them for a trick-or-treating gag, while accidentally bringing up treasure and riches, which piques Cortex's interest. Everyone gets mad at Cortex, demanding to know who the evil twins are and what he's done to them, but he states he's destroyed the lives of so many and can't remember. Then we fight some of the evil twins' minions before visiting the Psychotron, the dimension traveling device Cortex made. But once Cortex realizes 4 crystals is indeed less than 6 crystals, he comes up with a plan to visit Engine, believing he might have some. Then we're treated to this.
There, to the sea, I tell you! Our salvation floats upon the briny blue! We must reach Engine's battleship, and quickly before it sets sail. But how? Think, Cortex, think!
Slip and Slide Escapades is fun, if a little lacking in certain areas. It definitely could have been better, but still I won't complain as it's fun and includes a joke about Cortex's mother being a stripper.
Coming through! Ladies? Excuse me, madam. Are those real? Mother?
After this, Cortex is embarrassed and doesn't want treasure anymore, and I can't tell if this is because Crash used him as a snowboard, or if it's because his mother works in his own strip club. I'm gonna have to go with him being used as a snowboard because my mother's a stripper and I couldn't give the slightest shit. I mean, she isn't actually a stripper, or at least I hope not, but either way. Dingodile overhears Cortex mentioning the treasure, and this makes him happy despite nearly being killed while taking a shit. Crash then makes his way onto Engine's battleship in my least favourite level in the game. I talked about this in my worst levels video, but I'll go more in depth here. What I think should have been a highlight in the game ends up being disappointing for me. I wish there was a lot more going on here, and one could argue that there's plenty going on, but I just don't see it that way. We make our way through a few different rooms in the ship, and along the way there are some crates to break, a few gem puzzles that are simple but always nice, and some light platforming. We spin the occasional rat out of the way, and that's about it really. Yes, there is this one section where Engine pulls a lever which sets off some rockets, but they aren't any danger to us. I don't flat out hate this part. It's okay, but it leaves a lot to be desired, and is a damn sight worse than any other level in the game in my opinion. This is followed up by Engine's boss fight, which just makes me feel sad. It's as if Engine doesn't care anymore, because all we do is run in circles away from his rockets, and then he'll throw a TNT crate. We've got to make sure we're standing next to one of these support posts when he throws it. The TNT will break the posts, and we do this 2 more times with nothing changing. It doesn't get any more difficult, he doesn't use any other weapons or form of attack, and he doesn't make any variations to the path or fire rate of his rockets. After this, we are chased by Rusty Walrus, and as I mentioned in my worst levels video, this chase alone has at times made me never want to play this game again, and it bothers me deeply.
Ah, yummy! Fresh meat for my pot.
Because my skill in outrunning Rusty Walrus successfully is so very inconsistent. I've beat it in one attempt so many times, yet on other playthroughs it takes me well over an hour to beat, and I just can't understand why this is. It's not that difficult, nor is it bad in any way. I think it's actually the highlight of the level, but when I find difficulty with it, I absolutely hate it. This frustrates me because in no other game that I've ever played have I ever found something so simple 50% of the time and so soul-crushingly difficult the other 50% of the time. When we finish this chase, we walk outside where Engine falls on a TNT crate which triggers a massive explosion, catapulting Crash onto this random ass iceberg in the water, where Entropy and Embryo are just chilling. How did these two get out here? Why are they here? Were they literally just chilling on this iceberg when Crash just happened to land on it? I don't know. Either way, they want in on the treasure as rumours spread fast, and these two heard about it. Entropy asks Crash where the treasure is, and because Crash doesn't talk, he can't give a reply, which annoys Entropy, and he tells Embryo to get changed. So he drinks this concoction and turns into my wife. This is also another really sad and disappointing boss fight. Not as bad as Engine's, but it's definitely bad. We just run in a circle away from Embryo until he jumps back in the water. Then Entropy will jump in the center of the iceberg and split it into sections. Then we just run in circles again while nothing happens, jumping over the gaps between platforms until his shield comes down. Then we give them a little smoochity smooch and repeat this process twice more, and yet again, nothing changes between cycles. Now look, Engine, Embryo and Entropy have some of my favourite boss fights in the series, so it definitely goes without saying this is a pathetic letdown. But now that that's over, we return to the fun and make our way back into Cortex Lab after Embryo launched us off the iceberg back to the Iceberg Lab. While making our way down the mountain and through the ship, we collected more crystals and now have enough to make the journey. However, Coco shows up and in a well-meaning attempt to save Crash from what she thought was Cortex having imprisoned or kidnapped him, she ends up messing up the Psychotron after kicking Cortex in his crystals. Because of this, Cortex now needs help to fix the Psychotron, and the only capable person is his niece Nina, who we've got to go and bust out of Madame Amberley's Academy of Evil. So we take Cortex's airship, where the evil twins show up again to insult and make fun of Cortex.
I love my airship. It's the only way to fly.
Hey!
So this is how the rich and the ugly fly. Oh, stewardess, will I have another bag of those spicy peanuts?
I will.
Boring!
I shall crush you like the puny runt you are. You are nothing to me, for I am the great and all-powerful Neo-Cortex. You infantile vermin! How dare you mock, manhandle, and manipulate me? Rest assured, I will take my terrible vengeance upon...
Before sending in more useless minions, and we briefly take control of Cortex to get rid of them. When we arrive at Madame Amberley's Academy of Evil, we get to explore the courtyard and school grounds. There are a few gem puzzles again to enjoy, but all of this is optional. The vibe and feeling of this area is so unique and I love it. We meet Cortex by the fountain and he pulls a lever which sends him falling into the school's boiler room. This level, titled Boiler Room of Doom, has my favourite joke right at the beginning.
I'm stuck! The greatest evil scientist in the world! Stuck in a pipe. How could things get any worse?
The whole section is puzzle work with Cortex stuck in the pipe. I love this area. It's a cool toxic waste filled level, and the puzzles consist of Crash triggering all the right wheels and such to create a safe path for Cortex before sending him flying through them. This level is finished off with the best boss fight in the game, and not only that, but it's one of the best boss fights in the series. Dingodile returns, demanding treasure, and when Cortex ignores him, he sends him flying out of the arena back up to the courtyard, and then we fight him. He uses his flamethrower in a variety of different ways. The goal here is to dodge his attacks, then get him to hit one of these triggers, which reveals a button. We body slam the button to send water showering over him, and then we can attack him. This is a lot easier said than done. Dingodile presents a very fair but very tough challenge. Each stage of the boss fight naturally progresses, and he uses different attacks and changes the height and direction of his attacks, keeping us on our toes, and it's very easy to get caught off guard. Once beat, we take a platform which brings us back up to the courtyard, but we've got to go through this door. Do not go out to the fountain, as we have to play that entire section over again. Classroom Chaos sees Crash making his way through more hiding segments, where we avoid getting spotted by the and after this, we get a great rising toxic waste chase, where we've got to climb to escape the rising toxic waste. There are plenty of hazards and some nice platforming along the way. We bump into Cortex again in the hall, and then we get to play as Cortex again, running through the hallways away from bugs. And it's just alright. If I'm honest, it's nothing special, but I do enjoy how he shits himself if he runs out of ammo. There are a few classrooms filled with frogs, and we get locked inside. The doors won't open until we get rid of all the frogs, but eventually we find Nina. Now we play as Nina making her way over the rooftops, and something funny as shit happens when Cortex asks Crash to tie down the airship, but Crash tied it to a school bus which wasn't heavy enough to weigh it down, and now the school bus is destroying parts of the roof. Nina is more fun to play with than Cortex in my opinion. She has these grapple hook hands, and we make our way through the rooftops taking out rats and more of the evil twins minions. This is followed by Madame Amberley's boss fight, and while I do enjoy it, it's essentially just spamming Cortex's ray gun over and over again to shoot down panels on the organ so we can avoid her attacks, and then shooting the bells she throws at us before shooting the panel on her back. We then make our way back out to the courtyard and up to the airship, where Cortex now remembers who the evil twins are.
Wait, I think I remember now the way it happened. It was my first experiment with the Evolvo Ray. Phase 1 in my plan to create an army of super animals. The test subjects, my two pet parrots, Victor and Moritz. The only creatures I didn't load or eat. The experiment was proceeding as planned when suddenly my parents were gone, lost amongst the infinite dimensions. I was heartbroken. How I missed those twins, and how I longed to see them again. But be careful what you wish for, young man,
Back off, Grandpa!
for your wish will come true.
Back at the Iceberg Lab, Nina fixes the Psychotron, and we use the crystals to teleport to the 10th dimension, where Evil Crash shows up and kidnaps Nina. I don't hate Evil Crash, and I'm not against the idea completely, but didn't we already sort of get that with Crunch? We're then treated to another snowboarding level, which is basically identical to the first one, right after Cortex muddles up whether or not Nina is his daughter or his niece. It would have been nice if this section was a little more different than just a reskin, essentially, but whatever. We're now in the 10th dimension, and while a lot of people may give this area shit, I'm cool with it. It has the most challenging gem puzzles in the entire game, right before another protect and clear the path section for Cortex, after he pissed off Evil Crash. This one is trickier than the first one, and requires you to think more about what you're doing, as there are trigger crates to activate and others to avoid. After this we play through Ant Agony, the Evil Twins' lair, and this is probably the best portion of the whole game. It's chock full of cool different aliens and futuristic hazards, more gem puzzles, tricky platforming, and some cool Simon Says platforms. It's very clear to me most of the effort went into this level, as it really shows. Right at the end of the level we get a cute cutscene where Spyro shows up to take back his gems, and then we're treated to the final boss fight. And I don't like it very much, it's somewhat disappointing.
True. Now, playtime is over! Victor, Moritz, back in your cage, you naughty boys!
What am I doing? Curse my regimented upbringing. That's it, Cortex. You want to make up for lost time and play with your pets? So be it.
The boss fight is in 3 stages. First we play as Nina, and we've got to scale these towers and smash the lights to bring them down. And this would be fine if the grapple hooks at the top would actually like to work, as a lot of the time they just don't. Then we play as Cortex because Nina is tired, and he goes from absolutely shitting himself to very brave and confident. This stage consists of running in a circle, avoiding the Evil Twins' attacks, then shooting their weapons when the opportunity presents itself. Then Crash comes back in, as he ran off right at the start of the boss fight, and he returns with the Mecha Bandicoot.
What?
Hold on, did Crash make his way all the way back to the Psychotron, then teleport back to Cortex's Iceberg Lab, then take the boat back to Insanity Island and crawl down the cavern to find Mecha Bandicoot, then fix it up good as new, then make his way all the way back to the Evil Twins' lair? Obviously, this would have been explained somehow by content that ultimately got cut, but as it stands, Crash showing up with Mecha Bandicoot is funny as shit because that's the only explanation as of right now, and I love it. I don't care. Do not dare explain this to me in the comments below. I want to keep this as headcanon, as it's just too damn good. We finish off the Evil Twins with a Mecha Bandicoot. They shit themselves and escape their lair, winding up in Evil Crash's house, where they're eaten alive. The game ends with this final cutscene where Cortex, after everything he's been through with Crash throughout the game, still hasn't learned his lesson.
Mistake, and your existence has been a constant reminder of that mistake. But you can bury them! I never want to see your ridiculous face again! Where am I? What is this?
So what can I say about this game? It's clunky, it's unpolished and unfinished. It's also filled to the neck with bugs and glitches, and apparently there are nearly 500 bugs and glitches throughout the game. Let me just make it clear, you're not going to encounter nowhere near that many, but if you do decide to play through the game you will run into a couple. And when it comes to Crash Twinsanity, there's so much that I hate about it. However, having said that, there's far more that I love about the game than I hate. For it being an unfinished game and being as good as it is, I can't help but wonder what it could have been if the development team were more focused and had more time. And I'm just realizing that this whole time I've neglected to talk about the soundtrack, as I always do in my videos, by the way. I don't know why this is, I always just forget about the soundtrack until near the end of the video, but the soundtrack of Crash Twinsanity is all a cappella, meaning every sound you hear throughout the soundtrack was made from somebody's mouth. The whole soundtrack is made by Spiral Mouth, and credit where credit is due, man, because the soundtrack is the most unique in the Crash series and it just fits the tone of the game perfectly. I don't think it's the best soundtrack in the Crash series, I'd give that award to The Wrath of Cortex, but it's definitely up there. When you take that along with every other positive thing I've said in this review, it's no wonder why so many people want to see this game remastered with all cut content and polished up a bit. I really like this game. There are times when I play it and I tell you different, but I've enjoyed more playthroughs than I've disliked. The one thing I will say is that the end boss fight should have been Dingo Dale after he eats the twins instead of Evil Crash doing that, then we fight him in the Mecha Bandicoot. That would have been epic. I also really quickly just wanted to talk about Jmac and Webbsta. It's a channel here on YouTube and it's basically run by a couple of the guys who are like head developers behind Crash Twinsanity, and their channel is a treasure trove of Crash Twinsanity content. They go in depth explaining cut content, they tell stories about the development of the game, and all around they're just some pretty chill dudes. My favourite video on their channel is also their most popular video, and it's just them reacting to the world record speedrun of Crash Twinsanity, and it's so fun to see them just crumble as they watched how somebody just completely broke the game and beat it in a ridiculous time. And well folks, that's all from me. What are your thoughts on Crash Twinsanity? Would you like to see this game remade? What ideas would you throw in if you were on the development team? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to get a free old man and a free Iceberg Lab. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Now, I'm off to look at Neo Cortex's mother.